What's up, YouTube? We're back! We're live! What's up, YouTube? We're back! We're another episode of What the Hell Am I Doing? And we're back today with a special episode of Growin Like a Champ. If you watched yesterday's UFC picks, you know that I said that I might be doing an episode of this week. It ends up being that some seeds germinated. And today is day 7 since the video where I started the germination process when I made the video showing you guys how to germinate using paper towel. So if you haven't seen that video, you should check that one out first before you try following this one, because now I'm going to show you what to do when you finally have germinated seeds. To no surprise at all, I told you guys that this had a high success rate in the last video. To no surprise at all, I checked the seeds today, and I was expecting some to be ready. But every strain of pepper that I germinated last week is ready. And if I probably waited another day or two, I think I'd probably have almost 100% of the seeds germinated. From what I could tell, every seed type has at least popped a few. Many have popped almost half of what I put in the paper towel. So that's a good sign. You know, if that many have popped within 7 days, if I wait a few more days, all of them would be germinated. And you'd probably have some seedlings that have popped out of the actual seed shell. It would probably have a little bit of leaf material growing in the paper towel. I've had that happen before, and if it ever does happen to you, don't panic. Plant it. It'll still grow. If it's completely out of the seed, plant it with a little bit of it above ground, and it will grow. If it's half out of the seed, plant it just below the ground, and the idea is you want the seedling to force itself out of the seed as it pops through the dirt. So, if one leaf is popped out, one's still stuck on, plant it very close to the top, but just enough that the dirt will help the seed pop off the seedling. And, the idea here is you want to plant the seedlings that just have tap roots. That's the easiest way to do it. But you can save any kind. If you only had a couple seeds and, they popped out of the seed in the paper towel, you could still use them. If a seedling pops out of the ground and the seed is stuck to it, you can very carefully cut that seed off. It will survive. These things will survive. You learn how to handle these problems and realize it's not the end of the world, that these things want to thrive and survive no matter what. But we're going to try to do things the easy way, and the easy way is to catch your seedlings at the right time when they're in the paper towel and get them into the dirt at the right time. That way they can kind of naturally do things. But I've handled situations where they were a little bit longer in the paper towel than they should have been, and they all worked out. So never panic, just do what you got to do. Another thing I'll say is, I have a lot more seedlings than I need. So something I started doing last year was putting 2 or 3 in the same pot. Now, you don't want to ideally do this as a permanent thing, and you don't want to do this to transplant them. They will get entangled in the ground and it will be a mess. But the reason I do this is so I have a chance to have the best version of every strain I have. Some seedlings will do better than others. So if you put 2 or 3 in a small little planter, you can kill the 2 that are the worst and, have the strongest of every planter going. It's a good idea to do that. And that way you don't waste any of the seedlings in case something does go wrong. You have a couple backups in every little pot. Those are little tips I'm going to give you. I think they help a lot. Hopefully you guys are having the same success I have had with this process so far. If you followed my last video to a T, hopefully you have the same results as me, and hopefully that's why you're watching this video. What we're going to do next is I'm going to change the camera angle a bit here, and I'm going to show you guys how to get the dirt. Well, I've already got my dirt ready, but I'm going to show you what it should look like, because it's very important Now that you have a germinated seed, that you don't put it in the dirt that's too dry because it'll die, and you don't put it in the dirt that's too wet because it'll drown. There has to be a certain amount of moisture, and that certain amount of moisture should maintain itself for a couple of days, long enough that they should break ground and start standing on their own. And, from there, things get easier. So with all that being said, let's change the camera angle, and I'll start showing you how things turned out. Okay, the first thing I want to show you guys is the consistency of the moisture of the soil. This is one of the most important things that I've learned about putting seedlings into soil, and this is probably why I failed when I first tried germinating in soil. It has to be the right moisture. If it's too wet, it's no good. So basically, I'm going to try to do this. What you should have is soil that when you squeeze it, see how a little bit of water is coming out? Just a little bit of dripping? That might even be a tiny bit too much, but I'm really squeezing it. But you should just have a little bit of water running out of your fingers and dripping off. See that? Just a couple drops coming out of my fingers. That's about all you want. And when you open it, it should be able to hold the shape that you gave it. But when you just give it a little pressure, like that, it crumbles. See, there's just a little bit of moisture coming out. That's the way it should be. That's the way soil should be for seedlings. Okay, so now that I've showed you guys how the soil should look, it's important to put it into the right kind of container. I'm going to use a seedling container that's this size because I'm going to plan on keeping it in this container until May when these plants go outside. I would recommend using plastic over the cheaper peat or cardboard containers because in my experience, those leach a lot of soil, a lot of the water out of the soil, and what will happen is your soil will be too dry and your seedlings will die. I had a nightmare of a time using that, but with the plastic, the soil has been able to stay moist longer and I've had better success. So what you're going to do, once again, I'm going to show you again. The soil can't be too wet. The soil should look like this. You should be able to squeeze it, have a few drops of water squeezing out like that, just like that. And that's how it should look. It should be able to hold its shape, but not be a muddy mess or, sopping wet. So what you do is you gently pack it in. You don't want to pack it in heavy clumps. That's a no-no. And you just kind of pack it in like this. And, I fill it about that high. If you were to, pour water in there, I like the bottom feed once they have roots at the bottom because that'll prevent mites and, not mites, gnats. It'll prevent gnats and fungus gnats and stupid things like that from being a problem. So bottom feeding is actually better if you have something that had holes in the bottom. But if you were going to water from the top or in the beginning when it's just a seedling, you want only water where the seed's going to be. You don't want to have the whole thing drenched too much. So I like to have it about a centimeter to a half inch down, depending on the pot size. And, if you were to fill the water to fill that area, that would be enough to saturate the soil without being too much. So yeah, that's how I pack it in. You've seen how dry the soil, how moistened the soil is, but not overly wet. I like to pack it in like that. And then we'll take some of the seeds here. We'll start with habanero. My friend Ted gave me these plants last year, so I saved the seeds. Okay, so we're going to open this one up here. Now I'm going to grow what I'm going to grow now. I might keep a couple that I feel I'm short on to germinate a little longer. But there you go. Look at that. Okay, so see all those? All those seeds have tap roots now. And I can pretty much take my pick and plant them. Now the idea is, if you look at this, if you look at this up close, you can see that a lot of them are, they look like tadpoles. They have the seed head with the taproot sticking out the bottom. So what you can do with these is you can grab those right by the seed and just gently pick it up with tweezers. And what you're going to do is poke a hole in the soil at the top there, about the pencil eraser deep. And you're going to drop that so that the root is down and the seed is upwards. And I mean, even if you don't, gravity will straighten that out. But it's better to do it that way. Okay, so let me just show you guys. Like, you can pick them up even by the root. See? You just pick it up like that. Or, you know, if you're really nervous, you could even rip a section of paper towel with it and pull it out like that. You can't break the taproot. That's one no-no of doing this. You don't want to break the taproot. But don't be afraid. So, you know, you can see what I did there. Even the ones with the seed, if you want to grab it by the seed. Oh, see, I broke the taproot on that one. But that's why I did many. If you make a mistake, there you go. So you pick that one up by the seed. But yeah, that's why you do many seeds, so you have some screw-ups available. But yeah, I've got many here. So now I'm going to show you how to put one in the soil. Now in this case, I'm going to do probably one habanero plant, maybe two. But I'm going to put a couple in the soil here just to make sure that I have good success. Because if anything goes wrong, I have a backup in the same pot. So like I said, about a pencil eraser deep, you know, about like that. So all I do is I take the tweezers here, and I'll make a little hole like that. I'll make another hole like that for the other side. Whoops. Like that. Take a seedling. Drop it in the hole. Drop it in there just like that. Take another one. Just kind of situate it downward. And that's it. They're in the holes. Push them down maybe a 1/4 inch, like I said, not too much. And all you want to do afterwards is gently cover them over. You don't want to pack them in. You don't want to murder them. You just want to gently cover them. And, keep them about a 1/4 inch down or so. And what that's going to do is it's going to force the seed to grow upwards and pull itself off the plant as it breaks through the ground. If you go too close to the top, the seed might not pop off, and you might be forced to either grow more or try to cut that seed off. But yeah, that's all you do. And normally what I would do after this is maybe just mist the top a couple of times just to moisten it. And this will go back on the heat tray when we're done. So I'm going to, I'll show you a couple more. And then we'll finish up and I'll show you what happens next. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is a chocolate Moruga scorpion pepper that I got here. I'm only going to do one of those. They produce a decent amount of peppers, and I don't need a ton of those ones. I like the flavor, but not enough to have like 6,000 of them. So, yeah, we'll grow. I'll put a couple seeds in here, and maybe I'll put 3 just to have an extra backup. But that's all I'm looking for. I only need one of those this year. They produce quite well. So that's pretty good, but I'll put a little more. See, there's even a line like up here. That's kind of, usually every planter has lines on the side. Whoops, I'm not showing you. I usually fill the dirt to the top of the lines, or they have some kind of a rim that's usually, obvious, like a watering layer. But again, like I said, and I'll show you in future videos, bottom watering is the way to go, especially if you're afraid of gnats or if you have, problems with that. It can help alleviate the issue or prevent it altogether. Okay, so that's pretty good. So I've already got the seeds open here, so let's see how these ones did. So these are the chocolate Moruga scorpion. Oh yeah. See, these popped a lot too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at least that popped. Like I said, if I leave these longer, another couple more days, these would be 100%. Okay, so I'm going to make a couple holes. Right there. Whoops. And right there. Not too deep. 1/4 inch or so. Okay, so there's one there. Okay, I had to get a little piece of the paper towel on that one there. Can't really see it, but there's a little bit of fluff. It was stuck, so I just ripped it with it. Just tuck her in, root down, and gently cover her over. There we go. Get the other one in there. Okay, there's another one. There she is in the hole. Poke it down just a touch more. There you go. Cover her over, and that's it. Gently pack them down. You don't want to smash them, but you want to give them a little resistance to get out of those seeds. And there you go, chocolate Moruga, ready to go. Okay, so chocolate bootla scorpions next. This one I also will do just one of this year, and I think I'm also going to do one of the yellow Moruga scorpion because that one produced like crazy last year. I had a ridiculous amount from those plants. So I'll probably back that one down one this year. But I don't want to reduce my grow too much because I want to make sure I have enough hot sauce again since it did so well this year. And it's always nice to be able to make a good amount of chili powder too. Okay, so that's ready. Okay, once again, make a hole. Then we'll take out the seeds. Chocolate bootla scorpion. See the pepper stain, the stains on the paper towel from peppers. Okay, so we'll open this one up. This one has at least 2 that are ready. Looks like a couple more have small tap roots, but we'll take the 2 big ones. There's one there. Now, like I said, even if you put them, the wrong way, they'll still find a way to grow. Gravity will eventually straighten out what way the root's going. Okay, and then put that one in there. There we go. Yeah, like I said, you don't want to pack them too much. You want to give them a chance to pop out. Okay. It's alright, just evening that out. Chocolate bootla's ready. Okay, we'll do the Trinidad Viper crossed with the purple boot, and then I'll cut to the end of the video here and show you guys what happens next. Viper X, crossed with the purple boot. Do not overpack them. You want the roots to be able to grow through the soil. If you got cheap soil, it's a bad thing. I recommend using a quality soil. I'm using ProMix. It's got perlite. It's got I can't remember what it's called. Not vermiculite. Percolite. Perlite. I think I'm saying it wrong. But it's that white stuff that's in the soil. The soil does not compact. You know, if you get a cheap soil, they can compact too much and the roots will really be impeded. I made that mistake a couple years ago of using cheap soil. So I now recommend not using cheap soil and using something, you know, decent that's got some peat moss in it and some vermiculite or perlite. That way it will not compress too much. It'll have, you know, it'll have the ability to drain to hold water, but also allow the roots, you know, the ability to grow and expand. Because if you have soil that's like concrete or compacts as you water it, then you're going to have a nightmare time having those plants grow. And my first grow, I had that problem. I used cheap soil. A lot of my seedlings didn't even have roots after 2 months. And they did very poorly till I put them into better soil. So use that tip. Do not use your cheap $2 black top soil. Do not use the cheapest crap you can find. Use something quality if you want something good to come out of this, or don't bother at all. Okay, let's open the Viper X seeds. These produce like crazy, so I'm going to have only 2 plants of these. Yeah, they all popped, or most of them did. Looks like almost all of them did, at least 70 or 80%. Very nice. So again, I'll put 2 in each. One there, one there. Put that guy in there. Whoops. There you go. Down she goes. And this guy I want here. There you go. All right, those are in the soil. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the rest of these done, and before I do the next stage, I'll turn the camera back on and I'll show you how it goes. That way you don't oversaturate them when we're done here. But it's important to do things correctly so that you're not drowning these seeds, like I've mentioned before. So yeah, I'm gonna continue forward with what I got here, and then I'll show you how to prep these before they go inside the seedling tray on the heat mat. Okay, so we're back down in the grow room here, and as you can see, I've got all 15 of my plants sorted out now. So I've got everything that I needed to germinated, and everything is in soil. The soil has been treated the way I showed you guys. It's very important you do it that way. Basically from this point forward, the only thing we're going to do is give everything a quick spray. So I'm going to just take my distilled water. Now it's not so important because soon you're going to let this breathe, but since it's here, I'm going to use distilled water. And I'm just going to mist over everything once over, really, like that. And that should do. You just want the top layer to be moist. And then I'm going to take the lid, which is this here, and I'm going to spray this, just to help condensation build up on there so the humidity will stay high immediately. Because it's very important now to have high humidity in the seedling tray until all of them pop. And then all you do is flip this cover over. Just goes on like that. And if you guys noticed, I still have my seedlings in there, or the germination bags. I'm going to keep them in there just until I see everything break ground. Once I break ground on everything, I'll start throwing them away. But there you go. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this on the heat pad. The heat pad's still on. And I'm going to leave this closed, and the humidity is going to build up. And those things are going to break ground over the next few days, and the humidity will help them survive till they're standing. And once they're standing, we'll take the lid off and turn the lights on. But I'll make sure to come back with another video at that point to show you guys what everything looks like so you know exactly what to do. Well, there you have it. Showed you guys how every one of my seeds did, or every strain, I should say, that I started did. You know, like I said, 100% is what you're going for. And I consider this 100% because every strain I wanted to grow is now in the dirt. Obviously, the method works because of the success rate you've seen in 7 days. If I keep waiting and I left those other seeds that aren't germinated, if I left them on the heat pad for a few more days, you'd see the rest of them pop. I guarantee you this method works. I guarantee you that it will work for you. Just follow it to a T the way I said. And if you have a heat mat, do a water barrier like I did, because I really think that was a difference maker for me. The last couple of years that I've done it this way, the results have been very quick. They've been very equal, and I've had everything in the dirt within, now 7 days. Last year, I think it was 11 days for everything to be completely in the dirt. So yeah, the method works, and it works very well. And, hopefully you guys are following along, and hopefully you're having the same success as me. And what I'll do next is I'm going to put these on the heat mat now in the tray here, in the seedling tray. And I'm going to keep an eye on it. And as soon as they break soil, it's time to turn the lights on. So I'll do a quick update then, just so you guys know, because I want people to know what to look for, because that's what helped me. A lot of people could say a lot of things, what you should and shouldn't do. But for me, there's a couple visual cues that are important. And everything else doesn't matter as much. Other than patience. Patience is the biggest thing with growing. Yeah, but that's it for now. Hopefully these videos are helping you guys out. Hopefully you guys have got some seeds that you're about to germinate or are germinated, and you're following along, and now you're going to put them in the dirt. And we'll do this next step together. I'll show you guys when it's time to turn the lights on, and I'll guide you along the way, because for the next little bit, it's very important not to overwater your seedlings. But it's also very important not to let them die. So we'll make sure that I walk you through this as we do this. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in to this special video this week. Hopefully this is helping you guys out. If you watched the fights last night, you know that I have one punishment to do. So tune in next weekend to see me do that. And, I'm sure we'll probably have a bonus video probably before that, because it won't take long for these to break soil. Usually when you put them in the soil in this state, it's usually anywhere from 1 to 3 days. They all should be out of the ground. So don't panic if it takes a little bit longer, 3-4 days. Don't panic. As long as you did things the way I said in this video, things should work out. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Check out yesterday's video where I did the UFC picks. And check out this random video here. And we'll see you in the next video when I turn on the lights. And soon after that with my punishment next week. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Well, probably you already have, but I'm going to enjoy it now.